Hello students, today we'll study about chapter 9, that is soil. Soil is a natural resource like other natural resources. Soil is also a natural resource. It is very important natural resource as we get something from natural resources of our use, like from forest we get wood, timber, herbs, means spices, etc. from the forest. Like that, soil is also very useful for all living beings, not only for human beings. What is soil? The soil is the uppermost layer of the earth crust in which plants grow, that is soil. And as I told you that it is very important. So importance of soil is that it gives home for various living organisms, such as ants, mites, millipedes, beetles, worms, rodents, etc. live into the soil. That is the home of these organisms, smaller organisms. If we count number of organisms inside the soil and whatever are on the surface of the earth, so the number of organisms in the soil means under the soil is more. In 1 gram of garden soil is thousands of bacteria are there. So number of organisms into the soil is more, that is the home for various living organisms. So and it helps in soil only plants grow, and plants are the source of food. So soil is very necessary. Soil is also used for making houses, for making dams, roads. So it is very important for us also. Now, how formation of soil? How soil is formed? So soil is formed by the weathering of rocks. Whatever big rocks are there, hard rocks are there, they breaks into small pieces by natural phenomenon. Various natural agents are there, like temperature, sun's heat, flow of water, blowing of wind. So these natural resources help in breaking down of rocks into smaller pieces. Roots of the plants also help in breaking down of rocks into smaller pieces. Whatever plants grow onto the these rocks, their roots enter into the whatever cracks are there into the rocks. So in that the roots penetrate and they increase in thickness, and that exert pressure on both sides, and the rocks break into smaller pieces. And whatever rocks break, they roll from the height after breaking. During that they collide with each other, and with the other bigger rocks they collide and they break into smaller pieces. That also help in breaking down of rocks into smaller pieces. And water also help in breaking down of rocks. Water, whatever are there, that whatever crevices are there, in that water fills into the rainy season, and that water in winter season that freezes, because at high mountains temperature is very low. So that water freezes, and you know that on freezing, when water change into ice, the amount of water means the volume increases. Because of increasing volume, that exert pressure on both sides, and that help in breaking of rocks, that help in increasing the crevices, and that help in breaking. And whatever ice are there on the mountains, when they slide with that broken rocks roll downward, and during rolling again they break into smaller pieces. So water, plant roots, these help in breaking of rocks. And whatever wind, when fast wind blow, the rocks which are broken into smaller pieces, they are blown away by that, and they collide and they change into smaller pieces. When these rocks broken rocks come into the rivers. So at the river bed again they roll and they are carried with the rivers for long distances, and during that they collide with each other and they rub with each other and they break into smaller pieces. So this is how physical weathering of rocks take place. This is physical weathering. Weathering is of two types, physical weathering and chemical weathering. So in physical weathering, whatever natural forces are there, like force of wind, force of water, force of exerting pressure because of the thickening of roots, exerting pressure because of ice into the crevices. So because of these phenomenon, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, so these phenomenon, natural phenomenon help in breaking of rocks. Whatever chemical weathering is there, in that whatever minerals are present into the rocks, because of presence of oxygen they get oxidized and they become brittle. Brittle means they become easy to break, and that also help in breaking of rocks because of chemical change into the minerals present into the rocks. So that is called chemical weathering. So by these processes rocks break into smaller pieces and form soil, and during that process whatever dead remains of plants and animals are there, they also mix into the soil, and that enrich the soil, means that they the organic materials make the soil fertile. So this is how soil is formed. Now what is soil profile? So somewhere we may have seen sectional view of the soil. Suppose somewhere if digging is going on, so sectional view of rocks you may have seen. So you may have seen that various layers of the soil. Some layer is of different color, some layer of a little dark color, some layer is of a little yellowish color, means different color rock you may see. So whatever sectional view of rock is there, that sectional view of soil that show various layer of soil, that is called soil profile. Diagram I have drawn here, this is rough diagram. So broadly the soil profile is divided into 4 horizons. The topmost layer, that is called A horizon, topmost layer, that is dark in color, that is because of presence of humus, that is fertile, and whatever small plants are there, their roots are confined in this layer only, and they are the house for the smaller organisms like termites, etc., earthworm, etc. They are found in this layer only, and this layer is very fertile. This is suitable for the growth of the crop, means plant growth, that is because it have humus, and because of that maybe its color is also dark in color. So it is the A horizon, it is not hard, it is soft also. Below that it is called topsoil, and below that the second layer is, that is called B horizon or subsoil. Subsoil is a little harder than topsoil, it is light in color, it have less humus. The roots of tall trees, whatever big trees are there, their roots only come to this layer, and it is although it have less humus, but it is rich in minerals. Whatever soluble minerals are there, they are found in this layer more than other layers. So it is rich in minerals, and it is harder than the topsoil, means A horizon. Below this, whatever layer is there, that is C horizon. In C horizon, lumps of rocks are there, that is means mixture of whatever smaller particles and lumps of rocks. It is harder and it have approx no humus, it is not fertile, and it is below the B horizon, third layer it is, and it have lumps of rocks, spaces between them, and humus is absent in this layer. As I told you, humus is absent in this layer. So this is the third layer. Below that, hard rocks are there. That is hard rocks. That is also called bedrock. So it is very hard. It cannot be dig with the spade. It is so hard. So it is impermeable for the water, and whatever groundwater is percolate into the ground, that come up to the bedrock, and then it make water table. Means then it start to fill in between the rock particles and then make the water table. So it come up to the bedrock. So this is soil profile, which have broadly 4 layers: horizon A, horizon B, horizon C, and bedrock. This is in some book you will get that it is written horizon D. So that is also correct. So horizon A, B, C, and D. D is bedrock. Okay. So today only this much. In next video we will study about the types of soil and their properties. Till then, thank you.